Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 5:30 is the third robbery near or on UK's campus this month. Coming up, we'll tell you about the latest one and who police are looking for.
Also on WKYT This Morning, police looking for suspects in another armed robbery, and they have a similar description to those involved in the robbery near campus.
And just weeks away from November 4th, the senatorial race is kicking into high gear. These stories and breaking news as it happens, coming up on WKYT This Morning.
Hello there, good morning and welcome. It's good to have you with us on WKYT as we get this Tuesday off and rolling. It's a bit of a cool one out there. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. May need your coat.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Little some, light jacket anyway. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris. He is checking our first alert defender. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, light coat I think will be needed. It's right there in the upper 40s, lower 50s. So it's not as cool as we felt yesterday morning. But here's the deal today. The cold air has actually started to move on in. It didn't really move in overnight. It just now started, which means you're not going to really see these temperatures rise that much. So you saw nothing there on Defender. Temperatures are in the upper 40s, lower 50s. Kind of depends on where you are. You can see Corbin being the cool spot at 47 degrees, Richmond at 50. But then go toward the afternoon, 56. So we're not rising that much. It's going to be a cool day. There's no doubt about that. That slight chance of rain is mainly for the eastern zones, so most of us do stay dry throughout the afternoon. Now, going in throughout the next few days, it's pretty cool. I mean, some cool air really settles in. But the weekend, big blast of warmer air. I'll show you that coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, Micah, thank you very much. The UK campus was on alert this morning after an armed robbery happened near campus about 2:15 this morning.
This is the third armed robbery either near or on UK's campus within this month. WKYT's Victor Puente is live from the scene of the robbery. Hi there, Victor.
Well, police are still searching for the two men from that robbery. The victim was able to call 911 from some nearby apartments. Now, she was walking on Scott Street around 2:15 this morning near Broadway when she was approached by those two men. Police say they had guns, told her to get on the ground. They took her backpack and then drove off in a car that she described as a dark box-style vehicle. She wasn't injured and was able to run to Newtown Crossing Apartments on Foreman Avenue, where she called police. The suspects are two black men in their 20s. They were clean-shaven, both wearing black hoodies. They were last seen driving toward Limestone in that dark-colored car. Now, after the robbery, UK sent out a safety alert. Scott Street, where the crime happened, is just across the street from the administration office. Now, they have since lifted that alert. Live in Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
All right, Victor, thank you.
Police are looking for suspects in another robbery that happened just about an hour after that robbery near campus.
Of course, checking to see if there are connections. Police say they're looking into the possibility that the two robberies could be connected. WKYT's Sean Moody is live now to tell us why that's the case. Sean, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Well, police said the suspect and vehicle descriptions in both of these cases are similar. They're not absolutely saying these two robberies are connected, but they are looking into that possibility. This was a little over an hour after the Scott Street robbery. Police say a woman was walking to her apartment at Stony Brook Apartments on North Mount Tabor Road, that's just off Richmond Road, when two men came up to her with handguns. They say the two men walked her over to a nearby dumpster and may have covered her head with a shirt before taking her purse, which had her keys, her cash, and her cell phone. Now, that woman told police the first man was black, about 5 feet 10 inches tall, with a thin build, wearing a dark shirt and dark pants. She said the second man was black, about 6 feet tall, wearing a tan coat and dark jeans. Police say after the two men took that woman's purse, they got into a dark-colored passenger car. Live in Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Sean, thank you. Olympian Oscar Pistorius has been sentenced to 5 years in prison after being found guilty of culpable homicide in the death of his girlfriend. The judge presiding over the case gave him 5 years for killing Reva Steenkamp. She also sentenced him to 3 years for discharging a firearm in a restaurant in a separate incident, but suspended that sentence. Pistorius has maintained that he shot Steenkamp thinking she was an intruder in their home.
Laurel County Sheriff's deputies are looking for a suspect involved in an attempted burglary and potential kidnapping. Deputies say someone called them to complain about an armed man beating on a door at Corbin Manor Apartments. When officers got there, they say they saw a man run into the woods. After they investigated, they say the woman at the apartment told them the man wanted to take her kids from the apartment. She did not know the man involved. Police are looking for a man about 6 foot tall, 180 pounds, long red hair pulled back into a ponytail, dark complected, having a long beard.
Police are calling it a crazy situation. They say that a man claims that he was forced to help with a burglary. Frankfort police say the man came to Frankfort with two men that he knew. At one point, he asked to go back home after finding out his child was sick. The man claims the two people with him pointed a gun at him and told him he wasn't leaving. Police say the man claimed he was forced to go to the Prince Hall Village apartments and help with a burglary there. After the burglary, the man says he was let go.
One of the other people that was holding him hostage then took him to a neighborhood in Frankfort just off of East Main Street and put him out of the car.
Frankfort police later arrested Casey Endicott and Thomas Wentz, charging them with burglary, and they say more charges could follow.
Well, the Laurel County Sheriff's Office needs your help tracking down two men in connection to a shoplifting incident. These are surveillance pictures of the suspect. Sunday night, deputies say one of the men stole some boots from the Corbin Walmart. When employees confronted him, he ran off. Deputies say he also dropped a knife as he pulled it out of his pocket during the chase. They say the second man ran off with him.
The newly released Bluegrass poll shows the U.S. Senate race a near-dead heat in Kentucky. Incumbent Senator Mitch McConnell now leads in the race with a 44% vote there, with the challenger Allison Lundergan Grimes 1 point back at 43%. Libertarian David Patterson was a distant third. Just 2 weeks ago, Grimes had a 2-point advantage in the poll. The poll also shows Senator McConnell with a 1-point lead among women. Last week, 800 adults were surveyed for that poll.
Well, Allison Lundergan Grimes has kicked off a bus tour in the Louisville area. The Grannies for Grimes tour made stops in Jefferson, Nelson, Hardin, and Woodford counties. In Louisville, Grimes talked about issues that affect senior citizens. She also said if elected, she'll push for a higher minimum wage and equal pay for men and women.
This election is about whether we will stand up and fight against a senator who has the audacity to say that equal pay for equal work for the women of Kentucky, well, that's just preferential treatment.
Former President Bill Clinton will campaign for Grimes in western Kentucky today. It'll be his third visit to Kentucky to campaign for her.
Senator Mitch McConnell spent a day campaigning in southeastern Kentucky. In Laurel County, the senator said every coal mining job lost has led to 3 other jobs being lost. He also said the Obama administration has slowed down the economy. Senator McConnell has said Grimes would support the president's policies, many of which have not been popular in the Commonwealth.
We have a vehicle recall alert to pass along for you this morning. Certain vehicles are being recalled over fears airbags may explode. They are made by Japanese car parts manufacturer Takata, and now deaths are being linked to the defect. Most recently, the death of a woman in Orlando. Documents show that Honda, the biggest buyer of Takata airbags, first learned about the airbags in 2004. 9 car makers are now involved.
Happening this morning, Governor Steve Beshear and other state officials will be unveiling an economic analysis of Kentucky's signature bourbon that will be at a distribution center for Jim Beam in Frankfort. Experts say it's the most comprehensive economic analysis of Kentucky's signature bourbon ever conducted. The University of Louisville's Urban Studies Institute has undertaken the analysis. It will be revealed at 10 o'clock this morning.
The Bluegrass chapter of the American Red Cross hopes a new program will help save lives in fires. Red Cross officials say the number of fires at homes around the country has been going up, so they've targeted the zip codes with the most reported home fires. Volunteers going door to door in those zip codes to install smoke detectors in homes that do not have one. They're also replacing the batteries in non-working smoke detectors. The Red Cross hopes to reduce the number of house fires by 25% in the next 5 years. Well, with this month being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, WKYT once again teaming up with St. Elizabeth Healthcare to provide breast screenings. There is still time for you to get in and get screened. The mobile mammography van will be here at WKYT today, starting at 9:30 this morning. This whole thing will run until 6:30 tonight. Right now, there are appointment times between 11:30 and 4 p.m. To make your appointment, call 859-655-7400. Private insurance will be billed. If you are uninsured, you can get help thanks to a generous grant from Susan G. Komen Lexington.
An eastern Kentucky man has decided it's time for his family to move to Florida, and he's come up with an unusual way to sell their home in Morgan County. For just $10, you could own his home. He's using a raffle raffle conducted via a Facebook group called Raffle a House to sell his home as quickly as possible. $10 gets you one try, and you can keep trying as many times as you would like. The couple's goal is $150,000.
At the point where we got the sell point, we just go ahead and we would get my lawyer, we would all get together, we'd pull the name out and call the winner.
The Lamberts say they want to get to a warmer climate for their health. If you want to learn more about the raffle or try your luck, we have information on how you can do it at WKYT.com.
Yeah, just in time for the winter, warmer climate, right? Before we take a look at live drive traffic, a traffic alert to pass along in Lexington. The traffic signals at Man o' War and Darby Creek Road will be activated today. The lights were installed a few weeks ago last month. They've been on flashing yellow before they've been activated. So if you are driving at Man o' War, be ready to stop at that intersection, Darby Creek.
Lots of lights on Man o' War these days. Our time this morning is 5:39. And let's check live drive traffic and see what's happening this morning. Looking at I-64 and I-75 at the northern split, things are looking clear in that area. No reports of any trouble this morning. Down south in Madison County, they continue to do some work on the on and off ramps of I-75 at basically at least 3 intersections on exits 87, 90, and 95. Also, they were working yesterday on 97, so a lot of work going on to get those ready for the winter to come. Good to have you along. More news is coming up on WKYT this morning.
Willy Wonka, remember him? It's like his golden ticket, only for coffee. Find out how you can get entered in the Starbucks Coffee for Life giveaway up next, Bill. You might be interested in that.
That sounds good.
I think everybody would be good with that. 51 degrees there in Frankfort. Richmond coming out at 50 degrees. Go throughout the day, and you're not going to see these temperatures change that much. It'll be a cool day in store, and we also looking at some frost. I'll talk about when that can be expected coming up next.